Hey guys, it's Brandon, and holy hell, I'm not wearing a v-neck today. So today's actually kind of a cool day because I finally officially decided on my legal name, and I hadn't not decided necessarily. I was going to go with the middle name Christopher. I was going to be Brandon Christopher because Christopher was, or is, my brother and my dad's middle name, and it just seemed sort of logical. It was actually the masculine form of my birth middle name, and I was like, well, yeah, I mean, that just makes sense. But I'm sitting there, and I had the money, and I had the forms, and I had everything, and I'm writing in Brandon Christopher, and I'm just hesitated. I was like, something just doesn't feel right about that. I don't know what it is. And the name Alexander just kept sticking for me, just kept sticking. And I didn't really want to change my initials. I kind of wanted to keep everything the way it was, and I don't know, I had all these hang-ups about it. And I tried not to overthink it, but it just kept stopping me from sending in the paperwork. So I mentioned it on Tumblr, and a few people brought up some good points, and someone said it's weird to have the same middle name as your brother, and I just thought, yeah, I guess that is kind of weird. I had never really thought about it that way before. So I talked to my mom, and she seemed to think that Alexander fit me more, and I took a poll with a few of my friends, and the wife approved Alexander, the friends, everybody. They're like, yeah, Alexander makes much more sense. So I can't say there's any specific significance for Alexander. It's just something that works for me. And so Brandon Alexander. It actually makes my initials BAM, B-A-M, and I think that's pretty cool. So yeah, I'm going to fill that out tonight, and I feel good about it. It feels right. Like, it has to feel right. Send that in, and that should be done soon. So that's pretty cool. I got my T-dose upped, which I kind of knew was going to happen anyway. I think in my last video I talked about how I was going to the endo. So I went to see her, and she was right away like, yeah, we need to up this. It's time, and everything looked good as far as my T levels went. Found out that I had been doing the wrong dose for a couple of weeks anyway. For like the last month, I had been filling it to the wrong place in the syringe anyway, so I've been doing double the dose that she had prescribed to me anyway, and she just sort of laughed it off, and she was like, that's fine, you got a head start on it. So I guess I kind of got used to that dose without even realizing it, and I had felt better over that month of doing that higher dose, so my body was just responding to it better, and yeah, so now that's going to be my regular dose for a while until she checks it again. I spoke on a panel about trans issues, and I was kind of scared a little bit. I was kind of thinking that I didn't know if I was going to be comfortable with everything they were going to ask me, because it was in a church, and we were supposed to be educating them about how to understand and to treat transgender members of their congregation, or that sort of thing. And they're an LGBT-friendly church, but they just didn't know what protocol was, or how to respond to those members, what pronouns to use, things like that. So it went really well. It was kind of funny because I thought I was just going to introduce myself and then kind of move on, and if anybody had questions then I'd answer. But it was very official. There was microphones and water, and the first person spoke, and she went on for about 10 minutes about herself, and I'm thinking, shit, I better come up with something quick because I had nothing prepared. But yeah, so I talked for a couple minutes, not too much, and just said some basic things about the way that the internet had changed for trans people, and the way that, just the climate overall has changed since, even 5 years ago, which was when I first was thinking about coming out and transitioning, and what made me scared versus what made it a little bit easier now, and the different processes that people have to go through now versus even 5 years ago, and just how quickly things are changing, and how it's evolving, and how much easier it's going to be, hopefully, for trans people that come after our time. So no, but it worked out well, and it was awesome, and I'm ready to do that again. It was a really good experience for me. My chin stubble. I keep rubbing my chin stubble because it's all very exciting. I definitely had no problem, with the facial hair here, and I could probably grow it in pretty full soon, but I'm getting a lot down here, and so I don't know. It's nice to know that it's there, and that I have to shave a little bit more often. That's pretty cool. To be, what am I, 13 weeks today, 13 weeks on T today, and I spent a good amount of those weeks on a low dose of testosterone. So it's pretty cool to know that that kind of progress is happening. I can't sing right now at all, which is only mildly disappointing. I try to sing in the car, and whatever it is, it's like, it's not gonna happen. I just laugh at myself, because you try to hit these notes that you're used to being able to hit, or you try to go even lower than you're used to being able to hit, and it's just like, sometimes you can go that way, but most of the time it just lands somewhere in the middle, or nothing comes out at all, or you just crack, and I mean, that's fine. It's what happens. I did go on this weird Celine Dion kick the other day. I just woke up with all coming back to me in my head, and sometimes those things happen. The 90s just pop in there. So with a bunch of friends later that night, we all sang it, and I noticed that forcing myself to try to sing that song with them, it made my voice kind of messed up for a couple days. Like, I was just not really able to get down as low as I had been used to. I wasn't in a comfortable place at all with my voice after that. So I'm going to try not to force it if I can help it. I mean, you never know when random Celine Dion moments are going to happen. But I'm just going to try to avoid them. That was pretty cool that I went to a gay club last weekend actually the past 2 weekends, on lesbian night. And I kind of was a little wary about that, because I was like, what am I doing here? This is, but I was with friends, and there's just things you do for your friends because you love them. But it's a very uncomfortable place for somebody who is kind of, not sure if they pass, and, are kind of looking androgynous, more than anything. I mean, because it's hard for us, I think, to look at ourselves and know what other people take us for. Do they see male? Do they see female? It's just you don't know. And everybody's going to be different. But the point is, I went to this gay club on lesbian night, and there's other guys there, there's gay guys there, everything's fine. It's not like I'm the only guy in the entire club or anything like that. But when I walked up to the bar, every bar, it didn't matter. When I walked up to somebody, it was, how you doing, man? It was, let me get that for you, guy, There's a bunch of, it's fantastic, because there's a bunch of women running around, and half of them probably dress better than I do as far as things you pull out of the men's section. But it doesn't matter, because it's like a presence thing or something. Something's different, that they can look at a female next to me who would be wearing the same outfit, and they would say, can I help you, ma'am? But they look at me, and they know they know I'm a guy. And that's just, it's pretty cool. I know I say that a lot, but it is. It's pretty cool. I guess that's really all that's been going on in the last 2 weeks. I think the last update I did was 11 weeks. I think that the more I progress with things, just the more comfortable and the more happy, and just to give a semi-deep analyzation of the entire thing, I'm just happier. I'm so much happier than I've ever been, and I know that there are so many reasons that I had convinced myself to not transition, to stay unhappy, and that's why I waited for 5 years to start. I guess I could say I value that time in a way, because I was sure, but it sucks that I missed out on that at the same time. I want to do a video next time about the reasons that we give ourselves for why we shouldn't transition. And you can apply those sort of reasons to anything in your life, about how you're going to let people down, or it's going to be hard. I mean, just general things like that keep us from changing and evolving and being who we need to be, because we're so afraid of the outside effects. And that's a huge, big topic that I'll talk about in another video. This is getting really long. So for now, I'll just say that this is my voice, 13 weeks on T.